Welcome back to the Horrifically Queer YouTube channel where I make things and talk about other things, or just talk about things, because that's what I do. We do Halloween, we do horror, we do queer shit, and yeah. Today we are making another Halloween-inspired treat. They are going to be little pumpkin and brie puff pastry pumpkins. Pumpkin butter and brie puff pastry pumpkins. Did you follow that? Okay, cool. And maybe I'll talk about zombies, because that's what I've been watching recently. Anyways, what you will need to make these, you need puff pastry. I got 1 sheet of puff pastry. It's been warming up on my counter, so it's a nice room temperature. I've also preheated the oven to 375. I also have started to warm up my brie. In the video that I got this from, they use like mini bries, and no grocery store that I went to had mini bries, so we just have a wheel of brie that I've just sliced up into several slices, and then we got some pumpkin butter, and then you will also need some yarn string stuff. This is like a thicker yarn string twine. It's not quite twine because it's not like that brittly awful texture, but it's much more like rope, more ropey. Obviously we're gonna need some scissors for the rope, and then some utensils to assemble everything together. So I've preheated my oven, I've prepped my pan, and now I just have to assemble my pumpkins. I'm gonna start by giving my puff pastry a little roll. I don't want to roll it out too much because then you flatten all of its delicious layers, but a little roll helps it, keeps it even. And then you're going to cut this. I chose to cut it into 12 slices, so that's what we've got here. I've pre-cut it a little, just so that I could make sure they were more even than the last time I cut puff pastry. Okay, these beautiful bitches have been cut. And now we have brie and pumpkin, and then we'll tie them up into little pumpkin bows. Anyways, so I've been watching the zombies movies. I did a little, so this is the pumpkin butter. I'm gonna do a little pumpkin butter on each of my squares. Since Zombies 4 came out, I wanted to rewatch all of them because I stopped part of the way through Zombies 2 way back whenever Zombies 2 came out, and then I never kept watching it because I was like, this is the same fucking movie as Zombies 1. This is so dumb. I hate when characters learn something at the end of the movie and then unlearn it by the next movie. I was, a bit of a brat as a small, stupid high school child. But I decided I was going to watch all of them. And turns out the second one might be the best if it wasn't for the fourth one. So far, my rankings are the fourth one, then the second one, then the third one. I know that one's controversial, but I really liked the third one because the werewolves are in it. And the werewolves are my favorite. I would watch an entire TV show of just the werewolves from Zombies. They're beautiful. They're so fun. I love them all. The fourth one was wonderful. It's literally, I made a playlist of all of my favorite songs from all 4 movies. I have been listening to that playlist on repeat for the last few days. Okay, we've put our pumpkin on there. This honestly might be too much. I don't know how well this shit's gonna work. And now I have a little wedge of brie that I'm just gonna stick on top of each of my pumpkins. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the fourth one. I've rewatched the fourth one. So I've seen the fourth one twice and the third one twice. And I am gonna rewatch the second one soon, but we watched the third one again because the third one is gay, or at least hints enough at being gay that it's worth watching for that. That's the other thing. Not only zombies, the Zombies franchise definitely falls way more under Halloween stuff than Descendants does. I think these are way too fucking big. I don't know what we're doing, guys. So definitely, like, is it really a Halloween movie? I don't know. It doesn't really take place on Halloween, but it does have some Halloween characters because you've got zombies and werewolves and aliens, which all fall under the Halloween theme of characters. God, this looks questionable. Okay, we've rolled one guy up, and now I need to get this pumpkin butter off of my hands. So not only is Zombies 3 Halloween-esque, it is also queer-esque because of the non-binary alien, Aspen, and the fact that Aspen likes Willa, because any relationship Aspen's in is obviously a queer one. And it's really cute. The one thing I didn't like about Zombies 4 was that there were no aliens, and we did not discuss why Willa was without alien partner in Zombies 4. That was the only thing that I was sad about. It would have been a perfect movie if there were some mention about whether Willa and Aspen were still a thing. I mean, maybe they're not. Maybe they broke up and you just didn't want to talk about type of thing. But, I don't know. Wow. Questionable looking. These were fun to tie. I don't know how well this is going to work. What else did I like about these movies? I think they were really wonderful movies. The plot was great. I loved the passing the torch in the fourth movie to the younger generation. I love that Zed and Addison were there, and that there is at least some like hint that they could be in other ones as like more adult figures. I'm excited that there's a cliffhanger at the end, leading there to be like potential for a fun Zombies 5, which I will watch the shit out of. Altogether, wonderful franchise. Honestly, the first one was the most boring when I was rewatching them because that one is just racism. But I liked everything. I liked that Addison has this whole fucking journey of trying to figure out where she belongs because she doesn't feel like she fits in because she's still being like bullied by the cheerleaders. I love in the third one that she's the cheer captain, and then Bucky is still trying to insert himself into cheer life, and the other cheerleaders are like, bro, you are not one of us anymore. You silly goose. Like, I thought that was fun. I love Addison having her like own little song where she's like, oh look, I've learned something. Absolutely adorable. I love the characters Nova and Victor. I adore them. They are so fucking cute. I listen to Dreams Come True on repeat all the time. It reminds me of something else that I cannot put my finger on. Just like another adorable Disney style duet couple. I don't remember what. It could totally be like, Can I Have This Dance from High School Musical? Brie. I have no idea. Altogether, absolutely wonderful movie. So easy to rewatch. So easy to like watch with. It's definitely the least cringy, I think, as well. Like, I rewatched some of the other Disney Channel original movies, and I'm like, there's so much cringe. Some of these are hard to fucking watch, but that one, it's not hard to watch. It's really fucking adorable. It's very, very cute. Zombies 3 was a little harder to rewatch than Zombies 4 was. And I assume Zombies 2 is going to be easier to rewatch just because Zombies 3 also just kind of has the worst music because the alien music is very not musically, but maybe people like that about that one, you know? But I still think Zombies 3 was incredible and was very, very fun to watch. Yeah. What else did I like? Still the werewolves. If I could make a costume of any of them, it would be the fucking werewolves. I loved the ever-living shit out of those little guys. Wyatt, wonderful. Wyatt's little crush on Eliza, fucking adorable. The fact that Winter gets to play football, one of my favorite additions to Zombies 3 was Winter being in football. And Zombies 4, the little off comment about Winter working on like teaching meditation, fucking cute. Just, I love the little side comments about where all the characters were. I love that they're off at college, especially because, like, freshman year of college was hard because it's the first time you're out on your own, first time you're being an adult, and you do really want to make your mark and be like, and prove that what you're doing is a good thing to be doing. And so I do love that that's how those characters were, and I like that they were able to find summer camp type of thing where it's like, hey, every summer we can still go back to who we are and who we were, and we can still reconnect with ourselves and our past and everything like that, and help out other people, because that's what they care most about, is being able to help other people. Even before being a zombie and a cheerleader, they wanted to help people, and I thought it was really fucking cute. This pumpkin's a little fucked up. That's fine. The hardest part about the pumpkin is I think you're supposed to do like a little eight square, little 8 ties. So like tie it this way and then this way. So it's more little pumpkin segments, but I am not cutting my yarn long enough to make 8 segments. So I've been doing 6, and 6 just does not look as adorable. So we're gonna make this one longer. I have no idea how long you should make these when you're tying them. I just picked something and then attempted to put the pumpkin bite in the middle of it. Perfect. Beautiful. The song's so catchy. The 4th one, I think, has definitely the most music from it that I like. Easily, I think every single song is saved on my phone. They're so fun, they're so catchy. Whereas all the other ones definitely have some where I'm like, this song's a little boring. Not my favorite. Look at that, look at that. They're so cute. It's adorable. We'll do a zoom in. Adorable. See, it's like you tie it this way and then, yeah. And now it'll bake into a little pumpkin shape, or it'll burst out the seams. I think most of these are gonna burst out the seams, but I think it's gonna be yummy. And we're definitely not baking stuff to make sure they look pretty. We're baking them because they're Halloween themed and because they'll fucking taste great. Gorgeous. My favorite song is definitely Call of the Wild from Zombies 2. Or I really liked Possible from Zombies 4. Dreams Come True from Zombies 4 is amazing. Any song that the werewolves sing from Zombies 2, and then pretty much every song from Zombies 4 are just kick-ass songs that I could sing and cry to for some reason. I'm a crybaby. Like, you could show me any movie and I will be out here crying about it. That's just a given. That is who I am as a person. I like literally just watch episodes of Bluey and cry all of the time. And it's wonderful, and I love it, and there's nothing I would rather do than that. Well, I'm gonna get the rest of these finished, and then we're gonna bake them in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes so that puff pastry can get cooked all the way through, and then we'll come back and do a taste test. I forgot that when you're finished, you gotta do an egg wash on these little guys. So egg, okay. That counter is not hard enough to crack shit on. And we're gonna add some water to the egg, not too much. Mix it over the sink so you don't spill it everywhere like I did. Or mix it in a better bowl. Everything is covered in egg now. Dip your little pastry brush in there. Give everything just a little of your egg mixture. I think it just helps with the beautiful browning and getting like a little glossy finish on the pastry. I don't know. I'm not a professional. Okay. Beautiful. Now that these guys are all done, they are going in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes. And then hopefully they'll be baked. And we'll do a taste test. 20-minute timer. And we'll see you soon. Okay, while we are waiting for those to bake, I figured I would do a slightly more in-depth synopsis of the Zombies movies. Because now I can focus on them instead of focusing on the food. Well, this is gonna be the fun part of if I continue to do this, is how much I'm going to forget by having to multitask. Anyways, okay, so Zombies 1, Addison, human, Zed, zombie. Zombies are finally allowed to go to high school. Humans hate the zombies. Racism! Addison and Zed fall in love. Addison actually has crazy white hair that in the first one she says she can't style, but she do be looking good by the other ones. That wig, terrifying, but still very fun. Lots of wonderful music. Once upon a time when I was much younger, I drew a picture of Zed doing this little, like this pose type of thing from the song Someday. I did like a little silhouette of it, and I think I mailed it to someone. I have no clue who the fuck I mailed it to, but I think I fucking mailed it. And now I have a BFA in drawing and painting, so we've come a long way, guys. Anyways, that movie, beautiful. By the end of it, cheerleaders go to Zombie Town, okay? And that's not a euphemism. Zombie Town is the place where the zombies live. The second one, werewolves are dying. They need the moonstone. This is my favorite part of the lore, is all of the creatures have some form of band that gives them, or like stone, something that gives them powers to some extent. And my favorite part is that the werewolves, vampires, daywalkers, without their stones, they just die. So it's not like they were human and then got magical powers. They have the magical powers and literally need the stone to live. I love that. I like that little bit of lore. Whereas the zombies have inhibitors. Oh, Eliza is Zed's best friend. Eliza is a zombie. Bonzo is a zombie. Bucky is a cheerleader. Bucky, I think Bucky is actually not as racist as everyone says, or like as you would think. He truly just hates anything that takes attention away from him, and that is why he is as racist as he seems. He's just using everyone else's racism and fear of other speciesism, whatever, and fear of other creatures to his advantage to make himself more popular. Anyways, Brie is Addison's best friend, cheerleader, love her. She is wonderful. My favorite thing about her is every movie, Addison gets like a makeover, and Brie's first comment is, "Addison, you look great." And it makes me so happy that Brie is like, "Girl, I don't care what you look like, you looking beautiful out here. You did good job." And I think it's really, really fucking cute. Okay, second one, werewolves. Werewolves need to find the moonstone to recharge their mini moonstones so that they don't die. So they come to Seabrook High School to find Addison because there's like this prophecy about an alpha that's supposed to lead them to the moonstone. Addison follows them, talks to them. She's really good at making friends. I love this about her, and wants to see the good in everyone. And they're about to demolish this building where they think the moonstone is, because the moonstone also created zombies, because moonstones create monsters. Love this too. I like that it's a little connected and there is not a plot hole necessarily in that. Anyways, so Addison does a little transformation. She thinks she's a werewolf. Turns out she's actually not a werewolf. Very sad. She feels like she spends all of these movies trying to find a place where she fits in because the cheerleaders still bully her for having the white hair, even though the white hair does look pretty great. I mean, not my favorite wig in the second one, but it's getting there. Actually, both of her looks in the second one, not my favorite. Not the point. Better than the first ones, though. The werewolves then go to the factory that they're gonna blow up, and they're like, "Hey, please don't demolish this. We're afraid that if you do, you'll break our moonstone." And the factory people are like, "It's our job, we gotta do it." And then Addison shows up with everyone else, and they sing a kick-ass song, and they're like, "Don't fucking destroy it." And then Zed's like, "Hey, guys, I was really bad right there. I spent all of my time running for class president so that zombies could go to prom, and I kind of made the werewolves the butt of all of the jokes and made them the enemy. And that was very mean of me. I don't want to do that anymore. Please don't destroy this thing." And so then they don't, but then they accidentally still blow it up, but blowing it up was good this time because then they were able to get the moonstone out of the ground, but they all have to work together to get the moonstone out. It's very, very cute. And then they're able to recharge their little moonstone devices, and they all go to prom, and it's wonderful. Zombies 3. Aliens show up. Alien Invasion is a kick-ass song from this movie. I love that song. I could listen to it on repeat. It's so funny. I love all the lines where it's like, "Yeah, but it could be cool. Maybe they're friendly." Love it. So, aliens show up, and aliens are like, "Oh, let's not tell everyone why we're here, because we're here to steal the most precious thing from Seabrook, because our scout came to Seabrook several evers ago and said that they found Utopia for us, and they hid the coordinates for Utopia in the most precious thing in Seabrook." My cat just knocked dog bones off of the table. I'm very sorry about that. So they're like, "Shh, keep it on the DL that this is what we're doing." And the werewolves are like, "Y'all are fucking suspicious. You're also probing people's minds and erasing our little memories of you being probed. And we don't like that. You're an enemy." And Addison's like, "We can be friends." And Aspen's like, "I want to feel emotions," because so all of the aliens' names start with an A dash, and all of the werewolves' names start with a W. And a lot of the zombies start with a Z. but not all of them, because Eliza and Bonzo don't start with Z. And then the Daywalkers' names all have to do with light, and then the vampires' names all start with V. I love that part too. Anyways, Zombies 3. Aspen is like, hey, the alien society that we live in, we all just mind link instead of talking, and we hate confrontation and disharmony, so we never speak up about anything, and that's why our planet was destroyed. So I'm gonna feel emotions while we're in Seabrook and turn my emotion inhibitor thing off so that I can feel emotions, because emotions create disharmony and we're not doing that anymore. And then they learn like that they need to feel emotions. The aliens are so fucking funny because one of them is just hostile the whole time and she's like, guys, get me off of this fucking planet. She's hilarious. Allie, I love her. Alan, adorable little guy. He really just wants to compete and doesn't understand that his sportsmanship is not great. And there's a cheer competition, and then they think that the alien coordinates are in the Moonstone, and so the werewolves really hate them, but they're not in the Moonstone. So then they think they're in the Seabrook Cheer Cup, but then they're not in the Cheer Cup, but then also Z Patrol wants to arrest them because the werewolves and the Bucky thinks that they're evil because there's just a big misunderstanding, and Wyatt's out here being like, guys, we were also liars when we showed up. Why are we not cutting them some slack? And so then they stop hating them. Anyways, I have a bone to pick with the Z Patrol. Obviously, they're called the Z Patrol, as in like the zombie police, and then they become friends with zombies, and then they don't change the name. It makes me really frustrated that they still call themselves the Z Patrol, even though they should not be called that anymore, because that's still inherently racist against zombies. Anyways. So then it's not in the Seabrook Cup. They don't get arrested. Addison and Zed are friends with the zombies. This is all out of order. I hope that this is enough for you to understand what's going on. Then they find out that Addison is an alien, but she doesn't have the spark, but then she learns that she does have the spark, so then she gets blue hair, and that's why her hair was white, because if you lose contact with your alien civilization, then your hair becomes white, or at least that's how her grandmother, who is the scout from the beginning, that's how her grandmother's hair turned white. And her grandmother then is like, oh, you're actually the precious thing in Seabrook, so Addison is actually the map. And so then they're like, great, copy the coordinates and then you guys can leave. And then they're like, actually the map is ever changing and Addison has to come with us. We need to keep her. And then the werewolves are worried that they're gonna steal Addison, so they kind of blow up the spaceship with the Moonstone powers, but then they're like, oh shit, we need to leave and we need to take Addison with us because we need to leave as soon as possible or else the ship's gonna truly be broken. And Addison's like, guys, I'm going with them. They're my family. They're like, that's the place where I'm gonna fit in. I'm gonna go with these people. It's a whole mess. Everyone's crying. They do a reprise of Someday. They do a reprise of Someday in every single one of the movies, but in the third one, it's my favorite because it's everyone singing it because they're so far apart from each other, and Addison's literally leaving in the spaceship. Oh, sorry. They go to the space, the werewolves are like, hey guys, we're sorry we were mean. You can use our Moonstone. We will jumpstart your spaceship with the Moonstone magic, so then you guys can get out of here. And so then Zed and Addison have to be human conducting coils to connect the Moonstone to the spaceship, and they jumpstart the spaceship, and then they sing Someday when Addison is flying away in the spaceship and everyone else is on the ground just like reminiscing of all the things that Addison has essentially done to change all of their lives, because joke's on you, Addison fits in everywhere because Addison is essentially the avatar and is the one person that has brought all of these groups of people together and has been the person from the beginning to be like, no, let's be friends with everyone instead of assuming they're our enemies, which is so fucking adorable. Anyways, they are flying away and they're like, we can't figure out the coordinates, this isn't working. And then Addison is like, guys, Seabrook is utopia. The scout hid it so well in me because she wanted you guys to understand that Seabrook is a great place to be. And Seabrook is utopia because disharmony is what causes and leads to growth, not what leads to fraction type of a thing. It's always gonna eventually get you to a better place. So that's why she wants you all in Seabrook. So then they return to Seabrook and it's very, very happy and they all hug and it's very adorable. Then and this also the other side plot of this one is that Zed has to do everything in his power to get into college so that all other monsters can go to college. It seems every single movie, Zed has to do something to ensure all of monster kind can, you know, live normal lives. Like the first one, Zed's got to play football so that zombies aren't hated. The second one, Zed's got to become class president so that zombies and werewolves can go to prom. The third one, Zed's got to get into college so that A, he doesn't have to break up with Addison when they leave to different colleges, and B, all other monsters can then apply to college. And he does it. He succeeds, and the aliens move in, and Zed gets to go to college. And there's also hints at the end of that one that they're welcoming vampires into the community, and there are mermaids. Zombies 4, they've been at college for a year. This is after their freshman year. This is the summer after freshman year of college. And Addison is trying to become cheer captain, and Zed is trying to become a first-string football player. And they are working their asses off. And this is at the point where they finally tell Zed that zombieing out is considered cheating in sports, which is funny because the aliens could fucking levitate during the cheer competition. That's all I'm saying, is there are no rules and regulations for cheer or football in Seabrook. But also no one calls it cheating, and so I'm like, okay, it's not cheating, that's good for them. But it seems that they're evenly enough matched, even with Zed zombieing out because he can't do that 24/7, that it's obviously not cheating in football, but it is cheating in practice for college. Because he's like doing a rope climbing and they're like, can't zombie out. You have to climb it up as a human. And I think that that's very funny because also it's fucked up that he has to damper his self to be not cheating, right? It's wildly fucked up. Willa is doing great in college. Eliza has skipped several grades. They're all partying it up, and then it's summer break and they have a week to hang out before they have to go to their respective football camp and cheer camp. And so Willa, Eliza, Zed, and Addison jump in the car and they're headed to go on a little camping trip. And they're also talking about how much they miss Seabrook, how they miss their family, how Winter is teaching meditation, which is really cute. And the actress that plays Winter literally made a fucking TikTok where she was like, guys, the reason I wasn't in the 4th movie is because I was teaching meditation. And I died of laughter. It was so fucking funny. Anyways, so they're going on this camping trip and then their car breaks down. Well, then they get hit by this like big, powerful gust of energy and it breaks the car. And so then they set off in different directions to go and figure out what caused this energy. And Addison ends up finding the vampires and Zed ends up finding the daywalkers. The vampires and the daywalkers hate each other. Daywalkers can control fire, vampires can control wind, and only use their fangs for eating blood fruit. They don't eat humans, which is also fun because the zombies are also vegan and eat a cauliflower zombie substitute, which is one of my most favorite facts as well. There's so many things that I'm like, whoever wrote this, you are a quirky little fuck and I love everything about you. They sing all these badass songs about how much they hate each other's groups, but that they need to go and get more blood fruit because their orchards have died. The werewolves have a dark stone and the werewolves, I'm so sorry. The vampires have a dark stone and the daywalkers have a light stone. And so the daywalkers have this leader dude and his daughter's name is Nova and she is our main character girl. Her and this guy named Ray, both which are light names, have to do with light, love that, are gonna be like the 2 people in that little tribe that we focus on. And then the vampires have Victor, Vera, and Vegris. Yeah. Who are the 3 main vampires that we focus on, and his aunt is the person in charge of the vampires. So they are headed to this big orchard that they think belongs to each of their groups respectively because that's where the last of the blood fruit is. And they get there and they're about to start literally another war, essentially against their tribes, when Addison and Zed are like, whoa, 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 pump the brakes, pump the brakes. How about you give us your young leaders and we will work together to find the keys to unlock this, because we can't go over the wall, we can't go over the gate, we have to literally go through the gate, and there are 3 keys that are required. So we as a group, without you old people who hate each other, are gonna go find the keys. So then they go to summer camp and it's adorable as fuck. They go to summer camp and they do, let's see, what's the first one? The first one, they have to find the symbol in some rocks and they're like fighting each other, and then they find the symbol and they light the symbol up with fire and they get the first key. And then the second one is Victor and Nova. Oh, Victor and Nova have also been having visions of each other. And the coolest part about the visions is that they see the vision of the other person when they're like saving the day. Very adorable. Oh, look! our things are done. Let's check on them. Okay, I think those need 5 more minutes. So we'll give them 5 more minutes. And then we'll pull them out, let them cool down. Okay, Victor and Nova are having visions of each other. They go to summer camp. They have a moment where they sing their little love duet song. It's the cutest fucking song in the entire world. And at the end of that song, they realize that the little cave that they found has phases of the moon in the wrong order and phases of the rainbow in the wrong order. So they fix all those and then they get the second key. Bring the second key, put the second key in the gate. Beautiful. Then a boulder comes out of the ground and there's a symbol of like a sun and a moon, and it says only one team will win. And so then the vampires and the daywalkers, you think they've made all this progress to become friends? Wrong. They are in it to win it. So then they start pushing the boulder because the vampires want to push it to the vampire side and the daywalkers want to push it to the daywalker side, because there are like 4 symbols on the ground where you can push the boulder to, and one of them is the moon and one of them is the sun and one of them is the sun moon, but none of them see this for a while. So they fight, they're pushing it, and then they all leave because another wave blast I think has been let out, and Zed, every time these little energy waves let out, it makes Willa go nuts from her moon rock, and it makes Zed and Eliza zombie out because it essentially breaks their Z-bands. So they are also trying to deal with that. And then they find this little tower thing that's on top of the roots. These roots are from the blood fruits. They have to move the tower thing off the roots. They think that that's gonna fix it. Bam! So that they're like, okay, cool, this is gonna fix it. So then they go back over and they realize that they have to push the boulder to the sun-moon side as teamwork, and only one team, meaning both of them, all of them working together to push it. So they all push it, they get the third key, they put the third key in there, and then they all start running towards the blood fruit. And the guy in charge, the old man in charge of the daywalkers and the old lady in charge of the vampires still hate each other and want to fight over who can get the fruit, because they're like, well, we can't share it. So then they accidentally burn the entire, or well, half the orchard to the ground. So then they're like, now we really can't share it because there's not enough for both of our communities to have some. So we are gonna come back in the morning and gather all of it and get our fucking butts out of here. And so then, because they set it on fire, a bigger energy blast let out, and Zed and Eliza and Willa are not doing great. So then they go back to where they found the tower on the roots, and they're just chilling there trying to figure out what is wrong when Nova and Victor, who had also betrayed each other a little bit because their little lieutenants are the ones that went and got the old people to come to the orchard when they came to it, and that's when the orchard got set on fire. Anyways, so they kind of forgive each other, and then they look up at the tower and they realize that the light stone and the dark stone fit together in the top of this tower, and were clearly all a part of one moonstone that crashed to Earth to create both of their species of monster. So then they sing this other cool song about how it's now their turn to lead the next generation to figure out how to become a group together, and there's not much that Addison and Zed can do for them now. So their job is to get the 2 stones and put them in this tower before, and then while they're doing that, they also pick all the blood fruit so that the 2 respective old people tribes cannot steal it. So they pick it all and they put it where the tower is, and then they go and try to steal the stones and bring them back to the tower, which leads to more fighting, and the 2 old people are essentially trying to kill them. It's very wild, and Zed is pretty much dying at this point because he has to fully break his Z-band off so that he can hold the tower and keep the tower from collapsing on them. Oh, it's so chaotic. But then they put the stones in their stone place, and everything is fine, and all of it's good, and then they decide that they'll all be friends, and they sing more fun songs about how they're all gonna be friends. And as far as I can remember, that is essentially the plot. The music is fucking gorgeous. Loved it all. Loved the costumes. One of my most favorite things about Disney Channel original movies, such as Descendants and Zombies, is the fucking costuming. Yes, they're not always perfect. Descendants' first 3 movies, wonderful costumes. Zombies, first 4 movies, first one, not the best costumes. The zombies looked great. The cheerleaders looked a little wacky. The cheerleaders' costumes did 100% get better every iteration of the movie, and the costumes were so lovely. And you see like the wigs development get better, the costumes get better, and then you get Descendants 4, and you're like, I am a little worried about what's going on, but I think Descendants 4 can pull it together with Descendants 5. With clearing up that whole timeline cliffhanger at the end of Descendants 4, I think they can do it, especially because Right now, they're touring and they're doing the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide tour. And all the videos of TikTok that I've seen of this look bomb as fuck. So I think that they will pull it together and that the costumes are gonna look good. Or they're gonna look like shit and no one's gonna care because it's gonna be cute and fun. Now, let's see how our things have done now that I've spent the last 20 minutes talking. Oh, these look gorgeous. They have definitely spilled out of their respective little pumpkin butts. Ooh, and they're very stuck. But they look flaky. So I'm gonna let these cool down and then we'll do a taste test. Okay, they've cooled. I've unwrapped them. Honestly, the hardest part of this whole thing was getting the rope off of these. They flaked and I broke a couple of them. Some of them got their butts leaking out, but they're all good now. And so now, time for the final taste test. I'm gonna do this one because it has a little caramelization on it. They're so flaky. I love the sweetness you're getting from the pumpkin butter and the buttery saltiness from the brie. It's very rich though, so I don't know if I could eat like a lot of these. Like I think it would be a perfect appetizer for like a party or something like that. But it's like you may only be able to eat one. But man, are they good. It's so yummy. The really, really strong brie mixed with the really, really strong pumpkin butter works very, very well, especially with the puff pastry kind of mellowing it out a little. Absolutely delicious. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, share it with your friends. If you like the zombies movies, tell me all about it. My rating for them is obviously the fourth one and the second one get a 10 out of 10. The third one gets an 8, and the first one gets a 7. They're all wonderful movies. Definitely go watch them. Make these little pumpkin butter and brie pumpkin bites